Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, a book haul from my garage. Okay, confession time. I've got far too many books. So these shelves you can see behind me are double stacked. So there's another row of books behind the books you can see. And I've also got a garage that is full of books. So I've got boxes and bags and shelves in the garage as well. And sometimes those books in the garage get a bit neglected. At the moment, I'm doing a challenge, a Read What You Own challenge, where I'm going to read 100 books I already own before I buy any new books. So a viewer of mine suggested it would be interesting to go out into the garage and do a bit of a book haul from the garage. So look through some of those forgotten books and bring them in and add them to my pile of things to read for my Read What You Own challenge. So that is exactly what I've got here. I've got a big pile of books on my lap to go through with you, all of which took my fancy when I went out into the garage and had a look around, some of which I think I'd even forgotten that I had. So without further ado, let me get on with them. So the first one is a book I've wanted to read for ages, ever since I was a kid really. It's a book that was hugely influential when it came out. It had a really big impact on popular culture. When I show you what the book is, you will know why that is. The book is Airport by Arthur Haley. So one of the original kind of disaster type books, and one that spawned loads and loads of airplane disaster movies, both in the Airport series, but also kind of rip-offs and things like that as well. So really looking forward to diving into Airport at some point. Next up, the kind of book I don't typically read, so you won't have seen me talk about books like this that much on the channel, but it's by an author who I've read, I think 2 or 3 books by and really, really like. So that author is David Nichols, and the book is Starter for 10, so a book about university students going on, I think, the TV quiz show University Challenge. So I've always really enjoyed David Nichols' writing, so we'll see what that one's like. Next up, something a bit more normal for a channel, a trashy old horror book. That is Brainchild by John Saul. So I read my first John Saul book a little while ago, which was and I forgot the name of it now. I want to say Blackthorn Chronicles, but I don't think it was Blackthorn. It was Black something else. But anyway, a really fun series of creepy short novels that I enjoyed very much. So I've had this copy of Brainchild for a while. Looking forward to giving that a try and seeing what that's like. Next, a book from a very well-known series of detective novels. So I made a video on YouTube a little while ago talking about detective series I really, really like. This is one that a few people mentioned in the comments, and it is a series I like, but one I haven't read any of the books from for a while. The series is the Inspector Morse series. This is, I think, book 3 or book 4 in the series, so it's the first one that I haven't read yet, if that makes sense. So it's Service, what's it called? Service of All the Dead by Colin Dexter. Okay, next we have a book that was sent to me by the publisher a while ago, and I just haven't got around to reading it yet. For some reason, I think they accidentally sent me 2 copies. And my sister really wanted to read this book, so I lent her one of my copies and then had to go in the garage to find the other one because I'd filed that one away in there. So I definitely want to read this soon. It's Cuckoo by Gretchen Felker Martin. So I really enjoyed her book, Manhunt. I thought it was really gross and disturbing, but really powerful as well. So looking forward to reading Cuckoo. And my sister has finished reading my other copy of it now and really enjoyed it. Next, another author whose name came up in the comments on that crime series I've been enjoying video. An author I don't think I've ever read, but I've been meaning to read for ages. That's George Pelecanos, and the book is Shame the Devil. So these series of books, I forget what the name, I don't know actually, I don't know if this is in the series or not, or if it's a standalone, but Pelecanos, definitely someone I've been meaning to read for a while, so looking forward to giving that a try. Next, a book by an author whose books I have read and have been reading recently, but not under her actual name. So I've been reading and really enjoying the Agatha Raisin books by MC Beaton recently. So a series of kind of cosy mysteries. But the author, whose real name was Marion Chesney, actually started out writing romance. And a while ago, I bought a box of like a random job lot of romance books from eBay. And this is one of the ones that was in that box. So it's Kitty by Marion Chesney, which originally came out, I'm guessing, in the 70s. Yeah, 79 it originally came out. So a fantastic cover. Definitely looking forward to giving this a try. Next, another book from that box of romances from eBay. This one looks a bit more dodgy. So this is I think a plantation romance. So a kind of subgenre of romance that was popular in, I guess, the 60s and 70s. Definitely not the kind of thing that people are so inclined to read nowadays for obvious reasons. But I'm intrigued to see what it's like. So the book is Cotton Moon by Catherine Tracy, a cameo romance. So I've just opened it up to try and figure out when it first was published, but the publication date, I don't know if you can see that, is in Roman numerals, and I can't remember what they are. I think that is 68. So yes, we'll see what this is like. Next, another book from a series that came up in the comments on that crime series video. So the author is Chris Carter. I think the name of the series is the Robert Hunter series. So I have read one of these books. So this is The Night Stalker, which I think is book 3. I read one of these that I got off NetGalley a few years ago, and I really didn't like it, I'm afraid. I've actually got a load of them. I've got a few other paper copies in the garage, and I've got a few digitally as well, all of which I picked up before I read the one that I didn't like. I've definitely got the first one, which is The Crucifix Killer, digitally, so I might actually read that first. But yeah, this is book 3, so I thought I'd grab it as I saw it out there. This is The Night Stalker. Next, a book I've been meaning to read for absolutely ages. I still can't believe I haven't read this book. I've had a copy of it, not this physical copy, I've had a digital copy of it for probably like over 10 years and still haven't got around to it. I've read another book by this author which I really enjoyed. So the author is Max Brooks. The book by him I have read is Devolution, which is a Bigfoot horror novel, but he's best known for World War Z, which was, I don't know if it was his first novel or his second. I think his first book, I think, was a zombie survival guide, but whether that's technically a novel or not, I'm not sure. So this is a fairly nasty movie-tied edition of it, which is a weird shape as well. It's much taller than most books, which kind of intrigues me. But yeah, definitely need to give this a try. Okay, we are nearly there. I've got 4 books left to go. So next up, a James Bond book, but not one by Ian Fleming. So a load of different authors have written Bond books over the years. This one is by William Boyd, who's more of a kind of literary fiction type author. It's Solo, which came out a few years ago. So I bought this new with a book token I was given for Christmas. I was trying to flip inside to see if I still had the receipt in there, but I don't. But it came out, it was published in 2014, so I reckon I probably bought it around then. So I've had this for a long time and not got to it yet, but I do quite enjoy a bit of Bond, and I don't think I've ever read a Bond book that wasn't by Fleming, so intrigued to see what William Boyd does with the character. Next, another book from a series that I've got multiple books from, but I've only read the first one. So the series is the Dexter series by Jeff Lindsay. This is the second book in the series, so the next one I need to read, Dearly Devoted Dexter. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I watched, I think, just the first season of the TV show and enjoyed that, and kind of always meant to go back to it. And then everyone says that the end of the TV show was dreadful, so I don't think I'll bother, but I do intend to read the books. Right, nearly there. I've got a precarious stack of books beside me there. Okay, next, an author who's been around for decades. I think he's passed away now. And I've read a number of his books over the years, particularly when I was younger, and always had a good time with them. So British thriller writer Jack Higgins. So I have his book, The Angel of Death here. This is a nice US edition with a fantastic cover. I really like that cover. So this one features his character, Sean Dillon, who's like an ex-IRA enforcer who gets involved in various sort of espionage plots. I've read a few of the Sean Dillon books and always enjoyed them. And then finally, a spin-off from a comic I used to absolutely love. So I was a big fan of the comic 2000 AD as a kid, and particularly liked the character Rogue Trooper. So there's a Rogue Trooper movie coming out soon, an animated movie, which I think is directed by, and now I've forgotten his name, David Bowie's son, whatever David Bowie's son is called. I'm pretty sure he's directed it. So looking forward to seeing that. Anyway, I do have a Rogue Trooper novel as well. So this is Rogue Trooper Crucible by Gordon Rennie. So yeah, looking forward to diving back into the world of Rogue Trooper. So if you don't know, he's like a like biologically engineered soldier who fights in this future war, and his buddies who have died. He has their brain computers embedded in various bits of his equipment, so they help him out. But they've always, I always found it quite an interesting concept for a character. So yeah, looking forward to trying this one as well. So that's my book haul from the garage. Let me know if you've read any of the books I showed. Let me know what you thought of them. And yeah, as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.